With so much on the line, people wonder if Conor's going to rise to the occasion, and the same goes for Dustin Poirier too. Conor was quoted saying, "You can't fear success, and I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people feel the really high heights. But I'm not one of those people. I'm not like that. I'm going for it." Now Dustin's had his experience in the spotlight, with multiple main events, fighting Khabib. Is he mentally ready for the Conor McGregor show? If there were no crowds, I would say it heavily favors Dustin, as Conor feeds off that energy. Conor's used to the intimidation of the bright lights to his opponents. But you might be surprised to know that they just announced there will be somewhat of a crowd. The amount of people is unknown, but there will be some energy and cheering to feed off of. I'm sure this has something to do with Dana White expressing his feelings about how he never wants Conor fighting without a crowd. Of course he knows it gives Conor power. You know, every time Conor books a fight, I think, oh man, he could lose this one if he's not focused enough. Like a Rocky III scenario. You got a hungry Mr. T just ready to whip your ass. So when he's thinking about fighting the Poiriers and the Gaethjes, the Fergusons, rematching Khabib, I always think, geez, you know, these guys are active and Conor's gonna have to step in and really pull this off. But then the closer it gets to the fight, I'm watching Conor get ready and I'm like, holy, this guy is taking it really serious. Still looks as hungry as ever. So I don't put guys like Conor and Khabib at a disadvantage when they only fight once a year. These guys don't lose sight of what it took to get a shot at the title. Conor McGregor retweeted a tweet from MMA History Today. Quote, "There comes a time when you need to stop handing out flyers and get back to the damn shop." He is laser focused headed into January 23rd. And I have to agree. He's been laser focused for every fight in his career, except possibly the Khabib fight, where he admits there were many things going on outside of the octagon, and honestly, we found out about most of them. Conor's fought 12 times in the UFC. He beat Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier 2013 and 2014. Also in the middle of that, he beat Diego Brandao, which is a notable mention, because when Brandao won his season of The Ultimate Fighter, Chael Sonnen thought that he was going to be a future champion. And honestly, I thought the same thing. He had the skills standing up and on the ground, and the potential, but Conor just took his soul. He also beat Mendes and Aldo, of course, winning the title. Then he messes around and fights Diaz twice, goes on and smokes Eddie Alvarez to become the champ, 145 and 155 champion. And that's when his career really took off. By that time he was a global superstar, so I could see how running into a guy like Khabib would be a huge problem with distractions outside the octagon. So the unstoppable force that is Khabib took what was his. Conor then made a comeback off of Donald Cerrone with a very memorable win. So like I said in a previous video, no one has had a harder road to a shot at the title than Dustin Poirier. Dustin fought 23 times in the octagon. He even had a hard road up until he met McGregor the first time. McGregor was Poirier's 10th fight, and in 10 fights, McGregor had already won 2 championships and been a global rock star. Poirier beat Max Holloway, the Korean Zombie, Cub Swanson, Eric Koch, Diego Brandao, plus 4 other guys before he got to McGregor. What an amazing win streak already. Then after McGregor, he has to bounce back against Ferreira, Medeiros, Duffy, who had beat McGregor way back in the day, and then the competition really went up a step. Bobby Green, Michael Johnson, Miller, Alvarez twice, Anthony Pettis. He put Justin Gaethje away, and then had a rematch with Holloway as well, before running into the Eagle. Then he had to bounce back with Dan Hooker. Like, what the heck, man? So Conor and Dustin have both fought some of the same guys, some similar guys, had amazing win streaks. But if I had to pick one, I'd definitely have to go with Conor. So accurate, man. And I can't even say he's not motivated, cause he ain't even talking leading up to this fight. If Conor or Dustin loses, well, they can fight the winner or loser of Hooker versus Chandler. There's always Tony Ferguson hanging around too. You know, Conor didn't want to fight Tony a few years ago, but now that he's on a losing streak and he's 37 years old, maybe Conor will do it. I know Poirier definitely will. He's been heavily criticizing Tony over the last 2 fights. Predicted both losses, so I'd love to see leather to face here. But do I think Poirier can rip off a sweet combination and tag Conor and bring him into the later rounds? Sure, this is MMA. Crazier shit has happened. But this is Conor's fight to lose. There's so much on the line, man. But Poirier definitely has the skills and the experience to throw a little hot sauce in Conor's eye. You know what I mean? Yeah, everyone's saying Khabib could have submission of the year over Gaethje with that slick-ass triangle. But Dustin Poirier put Gaethje away on the feet. There's not a lot of people who can do that. Michael Johnson couldn't do it to Gaethje, and he tried his damnedest. But Michael Johnson also beat Poirier a few years ago. So there's some shitty MMA math for ya. You know me, I'm all about styles make fights. And all these styles at the top of the lightweight division are better than it's ever been. Make everybody in the top 10 fight, and then everyone look to your left and fight that guy. And hell, rematch everybody while you're at it. Cause these are some sick stylistic matchups to make. If Conor or Dustin wins, they should still just fight the winner of Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje, whether it's for a title or not. Do I think it should be for a title? You might as well make this fight a title, because the talks aren't going so good with Khabib Nurmagomedov. And I think the only way Khabib's coming back is if Conor wins and then starts going on a fucking rampage and racking up a few title defenses. You know, with all the accolades that McGregor has, title defenses isn't one of them. So let's make this a hell of a season, go on a crazy run, rack up a bunch of defenses, and then Khabib's jealousy will bring him back alone. That ego's not going to let Conor McGregor be known as a GOAT or pound for pound best or any of that. No way. We're going to get that eagle out of his nest. But there's a lot of other crazy animals on the way. Anyway, I leave it there. Much love and respect to both of these guys. Good luck, gentlemen. See y'all out on the other side.